What are the most common hints dropped by girls that are mostly ignored? Talking about something like a concert or a movie in theaters, I really wish I could go, but it's no fun by myself. Like, sure, it may not be a date, but if you're even remotely into what she's talking about and or into her, suggest going with her. If she doesn't initiate contact ever, she's not interested. If her replies are always short and never lead to a conversation, she's not interested. If she keeps hitting you up and asking about your life or sending you memes or anything, she wants to connect with you and likes you. Being busy. E.g., wanna do XYZ Saturday? No thanks, I'm busy. We should go out sometime. Thanks, but I'm really busy these days. And just general, I'm really busy right now and can't talk. If she offers an alternative time to go out, chat, text, whatever, then she likely really is too busy. But if she doesn't, no matter how specific she is about why she is busy or what she is going to do, it's still probably a no. The politeness of the no is what Dan Savage calls the vanilla icing on the shit cake. I'm not necessarily endorsing this approach as way to say no, just answering the question that was asked. If any human in the world stares at your lips and you wipe them or ask if there's something in your teeth and they say no and they continue to look at them, it's because they are sexually attracted to you. This is a cue for almost everyone. If they turn their entire body towards you while in a normal everyday conversation and touch you, lean in, share their personal bubble, they are interested. If you ask someone out and they make an excuse, leave them with your number and tell them, there's no pressure, but just in case they have an availability and want to see me. Sometimes they really do have plans, but they want to go out with you. And if they don't, they won't contact you. If a person who works in customer service is nice to you, they are not automatically flirting. I don't know how many men left their numbers with me when I worked at a drive-thru and then continually brought it up and made the entire situation so awkward. Like, cool, you shoot your shot, I'm fine with it. I'll take your number, but if I don't contact you, stop mentioning it. I didn't forget. I'm not blushing because I like you. I'm blushing because I'm embarrassed and don't want a scene from you flipping out over being rejected. I think one thing a lot of people miss is that when you're around someone you have feelings for, you're nervous, tongue-tied, and awkward. That is a pretty good giveaway. Unless she's just nervous because some guy is being super creepy. A girl here. A lot of times girls will be extremely bubbly, friendly, and talkative with men, and they think it's a sign she's attracted. But the thing is, she's completely at ease and relaxed. Most people don't feel calm and at ease when they have a crush on someone. It's easy to be friendly and confident towards someone you have no feelings at all for. I think this is how friend-zoned misunderstandings often happen. She might have some feelings of attraction towards you, but probably not any sort of strong feelings. Or she might be one of the rare people who don't feel anxious around their crush. Unlikely, but possible. As always, these are generalizations, and most things are best evaluated in a case-by-case basis. I asked a guy friend who I thought seemed attracted to me if he wanted to go out for a drink some night. At first, he seemed really enthusiastic, but because we're friends, he assumed I meant just literally have a drink and talk and kinda blew me off. Told me some other lame thing he had to do, and it fell by the wayside. But really, I was thinking about screwing him. I just wanted to get him alone first and see how it goes. Could he really be that oblivious? I definitely don't want to waste time on him if he's just not into it. It's only hot if he wants it too. I'm older than him, and I assume not all guys are into that. If you are a girl and you're in love with me, don't send your friend to tell me about it. This happened to me a couple of months ago. TBH, it was kinda my own fault too, not noticing her attraction. Asley, the girl who loved me, didn't talk to me about her feelings. One day, her idiot friend came over and asked me if I was interested in Asley, which I was at the time, but I told her to fuck off. I thought she was messing with me. A week passed, and that very same idiot texts me. She loved you, and you played with her feeling. You are scum, a piece of shit, blah, 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 how dare you, blah, blah, blah. If you like me, tell me. Your idiot friend is going to mess it up. I'm an older woman. Here are things I do to let a man know I'm interested in getting to know him. Hold his gaze a tiny bit longer than is comfortable. I touch my hair, and I touch myself where I have skin exposed. I'll sometime lean my head way back to show my neck, especially when laughing if he's been funny. I tip my head forward slightly so I can look upward to meet his gaze. I lick my own lips, fairly slowly. I touch a man on his forearm with my whole hand. I'll figure out some reason to touch them on the shoulder, and instead of lifting my hand away, I slide it down his arm a bit. I'll ask the man who interests me questions that are personal, not intimate, like, how did you pick your career? Or, what brought you to this town? Where do you fit in among your siblings? I'll ask for help doing something very small. Will to use your phone light so I can read this? Or will you please hold this for me while I get comfortable in my seat? I'll ask a man his opinion on something, and follow up with, why do you think that? I'll ask a man to explain something. I'll give a man a compliment. Start with, nice tie, or great shoes. But complimenting a good man for doing something good is exceptional. Men do not get a lot of compliments. So, if appropriate, say something like, it was kind of you to hold the door for everyone. You are so thoughtful. You are always ready to help. I like that you can keep me laughing. Wink. If I give you a death glare, it's not a challenge. Moving away means don't move closer. If they are avoiding eye contact, stop smiling, etc., they aren't into it. I'll normally be very short with people I don't want to talk to. If I'm just busy, I'll resume the conversation later. If I'm making efforts to talk to you on a regular basis, more than likely, I like you, especially every day. If it's a dude friend, I'll normally just check up on them, make sure they are okay. No romantic questions or anything. I also like to make it crystal clear there's nothing. It's awkward for both parties. For me, if I call you dude, yeah, that's just game over. I don't think all women work like that, though. I have worked in the cigar and security/LE fields for quite some time now. There was a contract I had that involved a cigar bar, and a representative from one of the major brands was there. The first time I met her, I was working at the cigar shop, and I was so gutless I couldn't even look at her. The second time I saw her was at this cigar bar during a security contract. I walk in, we make some conversation about our favorite cigars and that the Corona is the best Vitola in the world. I turn to grab a cigar to buy, and she hands me a freebie in our favorite Vitola. We talk some more. She's sitting down in a chair, I'm standing up, squared shoulders, being rather dominant. I'm a different person in uniform. No matter what happens throughout the night, she looks in my direction. If I so much as twitch, she's watching with wide eyes to see if I'm going to address her. I let it go because I didn't have the guts to bring it home. There's a girl I hang out with regularly. I made a list for you guys. She plays with her hair. We lock eyes and have a hard time looking at something else. Her pupils dilate to the extent that there's only black. She sits in an open posture, face, shoulders, feet towards me. She wears perfume she knows I like. She visits in skin-tight leggings, which she usually doesn't wear outside the house. Everything is visible. She then points out that I'm allowed to stare. She loves bending over me to grab things she doesn't need. She tries to unlock my phone while I'm not in the room. She talks about how she'd like to see me naked. She lingers for half an hour when leaving, blocking the door. She gets in my way, then just stands there waiting for something to happen. She buys me presents I never asked for, but it's always stuff I can use. She wishes me a good morning every morning. She likes hearing me talk, and she likes talking to me, so we do that for hours on end. I always get a reply within an hour. She gets offended or jealous when I talk about other women. She accidentally picks the same hobbies as I have. She asks about my day and comforts me when it's a bad one. She asks me to come to family events like birthdays and dinners. She's shown me basically every body part except for her privates. She loves to stare at me when I stretch my upper body because that's when there's skin showing. She doesn't like physical contact, so she shoves her feet under my legs when we're sitting on the couch. She smiles all evening long and gets shy when I say nice things about her. Did I mention the blushing and high-pitched voice? She gives me a call if something happens on her way home. But she told me she's not interested. I respect her, so I value her words more than her body language and actions. But damn, it's hard to not dive in and just kiss her. Naturally, this list is a back and forth kind of thing. I think she can make somewhat the same list about me, except for the leggings and the unlocking of her phone. Although, I do look good in leggings. If a girl gets closer to you, that means they either want to hold your hand, they want to have your arm around them, they want a hug, or they may feel like kissing you, but that's usually not it. But they may just want to lean onto you or cuddle. Sometimes they stand close to your face because they want something. But girls intend to either just do that to everyone, or they do send out those signs. Girls may steal your food, but that's because they either want the attention from you, want to be chased, still technically attention, or they're just hungry and steal your food for themselves. Me. But girls tend to be careful and positive around you and would intend to stand up for you even if it's playfully. But yes. That we just want you to try. Pick up your shit, lend a hand sometimes, do something a bit special or romantic just once in a while or few years. Don't get used to the nice things we do and forget so it becomes part of our routine and not yours. Asking you to do your half all the time gets fucking maddening, so we just shut up and adjust, so try and pay attention. If we mention something about housework or whatever it is, we might be trying to get you to realize how much we're doing and that we're fed up. Just try to get in our shoes sometime, please. Also, if we tell you something sweet or romantic someone else's partner did, we've just realized we never get that and we'd like it, please. If I am trying to ignore you, or if I have my headphones in while talking to you, or if my responses are short, chances are I think you are creepy and am thinking of a way to either leave the conversation or tell you in a calm and polite way. This is something that I wish people would pay more attention to. It's something that I always look out for. If somebody is trying to disengage in a conversation, there is a reason for it. Don't continue the conversation. I do this because I don't want to offend or make sad the person I am talking to by saying, "You creep me out," or "I don't want to talk to you anymore." It's a very hard thing to do, especially when I see that the other person is enjoying the conversation, when I am clearly not. Pay attention to this, please. My biggest problem with men is that they never get the hint on when to stop talking to me, or their timing is just awful. I run the front end of a local grocery store chain, so I'm always out on the floor talking and being friendly with everyone. That is my job. Unfortunately, some take my friendliness as interest. If I'm giving one-word responses and literally trying to back my way out of the conversation by physically stepping away, which I've had to do more than once, sometimes they follow me. It's pretty obvious I'm not into the conversation. Men ask me out for a coffee on my break or offer to take me out on my lunch, and I just, no, I am working. That being said, sometimes random connections are made, but how it's handled goes a long way. I once had a guy comment on my lanyard because it's a Mass Effect 3 one from when I worked at GameStop. The conversation was short, it didn't keep me from my job or other customers, and he ended it by saying, "I really enjoyed talking with you about this. Do you think I could text you sometime and maybe we could talk about some other games? I don't want to keep you while you're working." He was respectful of my time and the fact that I was working, which I appreciated the most. It's the one and only time I've given my number out while I was at work, and it was 100% because of how he handled it. Be thoughtful if you're approaching someone who is working. So, I'm a dense motherfucker and feel obligated to tell the story of my densest moment in high school and how I may have missed the biggest hint dropped by a girl in the history of humankind. I was a sophomore or junior and super rebellious to the point of actually going to classes maybe once every 2 weeks. I'd hang out with some friends before first bell, then leave campus. One day, a casual acquaintance of mine, we'll call her Kay, ditched first period because there was a test she wanted an extra day to study for. Some other kid, we'll call dipshit, tagged along because he was trying to spend time with Kay, who was admittedly very cute. At one point, we're in a nearby Burger King, and dipshit says to Kay all at once, "I've heard you've had sex before. Do you like having sex? Would you have sex with me?" Even I cringe and interject, "What the fuck? You don't fucking ask people that, especially not in the middle of a fucking Burger King to someone you aren't even dating. Jesus fucking Christ, man." Dipshit mumbles something and runs to the bathroom. I ask Kay if I should kick his ass or at least let him know not to come around her anymore. She reasonably declines and says she just hopes he'll leave her alone now. We hang out for a bit longer and I make sure to stand between them and do all that dumb macho shit. At second period, I walk her to campus and figure I'll go to class since I'm there. Kay says, "I told my friend I'd stop smoking. Does my breath smell like smoke?" I check and tell her she should be in the clear. I wonder if I taste like smoke. I shrug, give her a quick hug, and say, "See ya." I don't know how long it was before I recalled that conversation and facepalmed. TLDR, a girl wondered aloud to me if she tasted like smoke, and I whooshed. So yeah, I'm a fucking idiot, and people should never underestimate how oblivious guys can be. That frozen smile from the service worker when you try to flirt with her, that's her being nice because her job depends on it, while inwardly screaming. Rule of thumb: don't flirt with people at their workplace. Don't flirt with someone anywhere you're trapped together. Public transit, elevator, work event, airplane, her place of work, unless they're your partner or spouse or something. One I notice a lot. If a woman with a mobility device, cane, walker, rollator, etc., gets on public transit and starts looking around in mild concern, she needs a seat. Generally, I suggest if you can give up your seat, offer your seat. Asking someone to give up a seat puts them on the spot, and even if they really shouldn't, maybe they've got an invisible disability, it's rude to say no. You have the power to make this awkward situation not happen. Oh my god, we should go! That sounds amazing. I'd love to do that. This band I love has a concert in town. I like that too. Are all examples of a soft ask. Odds are high she wants to do this activity with you. If you also want to do that activity together, invite her. Some scripts. Do you want to come next time? When's the concert? Do you want to go together? Then let's go. When are you free? NB. The don't flirt with people at their workplace trumps this one. Even if it's a suggestion for a date, now is not the time. These all go for people of other genders too, obviously, but the question asked about girls. Hints? Heck. Met my boyfriend when he was in the process of breaking up with his previous boyfriend, became friends. I had a bit of a crush and I would treat you much better than that other guy, but I wasn't intending to be anything more than friends. And 6 months later, I accidentally said, "I love you," at the end of a call with him. Panicked. He called back the next day and asked what I meant by it. I tried to say that it was a slip of the tongue, but midway through, I kicked myself in the ass for being a coward and said, yeah, I loved him. And we have been together since then. Yep, as smooth and subtle as a rocket-propelled brick. I guess it's a thing to play really hard to get nowadays, because when I show disinterest in a boy, they will continue to try initiating conversations or asking me out on a date. I don't understand this, because I have stated multiple times to a few guys that I wasn't interested in then, but they kept pushing to make something happen. It really comes off as creepy, and I've been told that some girls like to play hard to get to see if a boy is actually interested in them. Please stop doing this. It's extremely confusing for boys, and it makes it seem like every woman does this, which makes it difficult for others to show they're not interested. If you see discomfort or someone is dropping multiple obvious hints of not being interested in you at all, don't keep pushing it and fuck the woman that fuck with your heart like that. Anything to show they are not interested. I'm a guy and have been forced to admit that many girls I liked and flirted with never reciprocated any of the feelings I had. Thinking back, it's irritating how hard I tried with some girls who I thought were totally into me, when in reality they were just hoping I'd eventually get bored and leave them alone. Of course, being inept in the art of love, I took them answering and talking as interest and kept pushing. If I could go back in time, I'd beat myself over the head. Maybe I wouldn't have lost so many female friends from high school then. I'm not sure if this necessarily applies to everyone, but I could tell my male friend had a crush on me, but I didn't like him back. So whenever we would go on to the topic of relationships and dating, I'd drop hints like, I'm sure you'll meet a cute girl at university. Or I'd talk about how I wanted to hopefully meet my future partner at uni and how I wasn't attracted to anyone as of right now. I dropped quite a hefty amount of hints regarding my lack of interest in being in a relationship with him, to the point where it was blatantly obvious. He asked me out last Friday. It was awkward. Sometimes it's not what a girl says, it's what she doesn't say. It's not something we are born with, it just takes some time to develop your radar for it. Some girls are just naturally nice and they have a hard time saying no when they are in front of you, but once it's time to get together, they are good at finding reasons why they can't make it. Once, yeah, shit happens, but if it's twice in a row, I'm out of there. Don't beat yourself up over it. We all love feeling wanted, but it ain't always going to work the way you would like. After a while, you just learn to shrug it off. Life's too short to sweat that kind of shit.